Everyone, welcome back to Football Talks. Extended shows this Sunday morning with the transfer window opening today, the 1st of June. The new transfer window and everything getting a little bit exciting now. We've just been talking on Forever United TV about everything going on with Manchester United. If you have come across from that show and this is the first time that you're on Football Talks, welcome along. Get involved in the chat, everybody. Try and get up on that community leaderboard there that is up and running right now. Give me your thoughts on all of the news and everything that's going on we're going to round up what we've done this week in terms of all of the transfer news as well for other clubs in the Premier League. We're going to discuss everything that's happening around the Prem with the big clubs. But I wanted to start this morning's show and doing a bit of a special on last night's Champions League final and the story and the journey of Luis Enrique and that PSG rebuild. Now, I wanted to bring this into focus because look at Mbappe, look at Neymar, look at Messi, look at the superstars that PSG have had at their football club and where they have failed to even make a tiny little impact in them winning the biggest prize of all, the Champions League. That, I think, is exactly the point that I wanted to make this morning. That you've got the likes of Vitinha coming through from Wolves, who couldn't get in that Wolves side at one point. 2001, playing for Wolves, struggling to make an appearance there and have an impact, and now running a Champions League final with elite players everywhere on the pitch. You look at the fact that they've sold Mbappe and gone on to another level instantly. You look at the fact that there is no more Messi, no more Neymar, no more big names. I think what the ownership at PSG has realised is that it isn't all about the big names. I think they've realised that it's trusting in the manager. And trusting in Luis Enrique, I think, has been the biggest winning point for PSG. The second manager to win a treble in a different league now. He's won the treble with Barcelona. He's won the treble now with PSG as well. He's matched Pep Guardiola's record of doing it with Barca again and Manchester City now. Fantastic manager with a fantastic story. Obviously, emotional night last night with the story of his daughter who passed away as well years ago. And all of that involved in it. It couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened to anyone better, I don't think. Right, is what we're seeing from last night. Like the commitments that he has shown, the passion that man has got, and I think he was written off, Enrique, by quite a few people. Like he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't all of that. His time had been and his time had gone. But I think Enrique has shown last night that he is top dog when it comes to European management. But it came about because his club, his ownership, and everybody at that club trusted in him to provide what was necessary. Losing them big players and getting rid of them players was probably exactly what PSG needed. And this brings up like the Bruno Fernandes instance of Manchester United. Look, United are nowhere near the level that PSG are. But Bruno Fernandes, one of them players that we're all discussing whether or not he should leave. We're all discussing whether he is that important to Manchester United. It could trigger the rebuild for Manchester United as well, like it was for PSG. And last night, just looking at the opportunity and the younger players coming through that side, it's like Desiree Doué, for instance, young player, young teenager from Rennes that PSG invested in. PSG now looking to go all in on someone like Mastantuono as well from River Plate. This, I think, is where it's at right now. It's trusting in a manager and trusting in his vision and having a recruitment team behind him to actually make it happen. And I think this is where PSG have prospered, where the likes of other big clubs have fallen down. The amount of effort it takes to bring a Champions League trophy to a football club, you've seen that, and how difficult it is to win it again the following year. I think that's been proven by Real Madrid's quality and what they do. And they do reinvest. It's like Real Madrid have had a bad season this season, and look at what they're doing already in reinvesting into the transfer market. I just wanted to make a point about that, and obviously keep your comments coming in about the final last night. How good was Doué? Kvaratskhelia is a phenomenal player, absolutely brilliant. Vitinha, João Neves, honestly, the list is endless, absolutely endless for PSG, and by far the better team yesterday. Absolutely brilliant final for them. To blow one of the toughest defences in the Premier League in Europe right now out of the water the way they did was absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, and it was good. It was a good game to watch. It was a good game to watch. But I wanted to move on to the actual transfer news and what's actually happening, going over everything else. I just mentioned there the recruitment of these big clubs and these big European clubs. For instance, the Dean Howson transfer from Real Madrid, from Bournemouth. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're also looking into Miles Skelly as well now. This is what these big European clubs are doing. That they're looking at the opportunity of the younger market, players that are just coming to the ends of their contracts and trying to steal them away. Real Madrid tried to do it with Lenny Yoro last season. In fact, Manchester United have in fact tried to do it this season, well, we started last season with the likes of Chido. Obviously, we brought Heaven in as well. Sekou Kone came through to Manchester United. They've also bought Diego Leon from South America as well. Hitting the South American market, I think, is massive for a lot of these big clubs right now. And we're now starting to see the likes of United copy what the Real Madrids, Barcelona's, PSGs have been doing. They've had the monopoly. They've had the control of this market for so long. And I think this is really interesting now to see these bigger clubs attacking not just the Premier League for their younger players, but the Premier League cottoning onto it and trying to do exactly the same thing in taking some of the academy players away from the bigger clubs that aren't getting their opportunities yet. So this is a big part of the market, I think, right now. And I think this is going to be where a lot of the big Premier League clubs go as well. They're going to fill the rest of their squad with the younger, better players and try and go out and buy the specific big players that they need for the right now. And on the right now, you can only start with the big one, really, which is Florian Wirtz for Liverpool. And again, it does now look nailed on. There was a story coming out that Real Madrid were going to come and try and hijack that deal for Florian Wirtz from Liverpool, but it looks like everything is set in stone now. The conversations and negotiations have gone well, and it looks like Florian Wirtz is going to be a Real Madrid. Florian Wirtz is going to be a Liverpool player. It looks really. It's scary for everybody else in the Premier League, but it looks like at Liverpool, if they're bringing players in like him, they possibly go out and buy another striker as well if Nunez leaves. But again, it just shows like how Liverpool have been run, and not spending last summer, I think, is big because they've had all this money to spend. They can go and buy the players that they want to get in, and then they can sell everybody else afterwards. So going in and stealing in on these players before anybody else can, I think has been the reason why Liverpool are being, well, they're ahead of everybody else right now in the transfer window, I think. And bringing in the likes of Kirkez, obviously Frimpong has been announced. He is done, and the transfer window being open now, I think we're going to get some massive movement this week. I actually do believe we will get a here we go for Florian Wirtz to Liverpool this week as well. Yesterday we covered the news on Manchester City talking to Ryan Cherki, getting that deal done very, very quickly. He was a Manchester United target, but now, obviously, it looks like he's set for Manchester City. City have come in and moved quickly. I went in detail on this yesterday, and I think, again, like looking at these younger players, like I just mentioned what PSG, Real Madrid, these teams are doing in getting these younger players in. Ryan Cherki, 21, one more year left on his contract. How other clubs have not been all over this, particularly Premier League clubs, I do not know. I thought this would have been a perfect signing for Manchester United to make, especially with the finances. But again, you have to be in the Premier League. You have to be able to offer more. We just discussed this on Forever United TV in terms of what Manchester United can't give to these players that other football clubs can now. Ryan Cherki to Manchester City makes complete and utter sense. And I think he's better than Jack Grealish. He's cheaper than Jack Grealish. And City are still going to sell Grealish for more than what they're buying Cherki for and make it look like they've turned a profit this summer, which is crazy to actually think. But that's what happens when you're in a comfortable position. That's what happens when your club is run well for years. You can already argue the point with Manchester City and running well for years. Obviously, we've got the discrepancies and everything else that come along with Manchester City. But I said it yesterday, in terms of transfers and getting deals done, City are right up there in terms of speed and efficiency, just like Liverpool have been. And this is proven in them being successful in the Premier League. It's like getting in early and getting the right players. The proper recruitment behind the right managers is the way to go. And this, again, I think is where Arsenal are also at. It's like backing Arteta. They're fully in behind Arteta. Whether or not you're an Arsenal fan or you're a neutral and you're thinking Arsenal should have won something by now, the club are still 100% behind Mikel Arteta. And they feel that the investment into him is the way to go. And this, I think, will be key going forward for Arsenal. In them getting their targets in, I just feel like they, above more than anybody else, need to get their deals done early. They need to be where City and Liverpool are right now, because I think City will finish ahead of them next season if they get the window right, and Liverpool will be ahead of them again. They need to move very, very quickly now. And just on Arsenal, moving on to them next, I'll come to the comment section in a moment. Arsenal's chase for a striker. Now, we all know that Arsenal need a striker. They need to get somebody in ASAP. Because that is the one thing that they are missing. When Havertz went down, when Gabriel Jesus went down injured this season, they didn't fall off, and they did perform well, and it was good. It was good to see them carry on into the later stages of the Champions League without a striker. It proved that you don't necessarily need it all the time, but in them crucial moments, you do need that number one striker, someone who is going to put the ball in the back of the net. Their bid for Victor Gyökeres, if there was one, this is just a story that's going around at the moment, and is in a few of the papers as well, that they have had their first bid rejected by Victor Gyökeres. They've also had a bid rejected for Benjamin Sesko. So the headline is, Liverpool are actually looking at two strikers. They're looking and they're bidding at Sesko and at Victor Gyökeres. And that's what's going around at the moment. And again, I said this before actually, like, you cannot be all in on one player and then expect to do the same thing with another player. It's going to put the other one off. It's like, well, who do you want? If, say for instance, Benjamin Sesko gets wind of Arsenal bidding for Victor Gyökeres as well, then he's going to be like, well, I want to go to a club where I know I'm going to be number one striker. And that would put the other player off, surely. So again, like, the story's going around. I think now that the window is open, we should get a little bit more clarity on who is going for who. I think that will be what comes about anyway. But again, when you look at Arsenal and how far behind they are from Liverpool, and City being able to click a finger and leapfrog them even more, again, just by buying a few players in, it's scary to think that they've been that close, Arsenal, challenging on all fronts, looking like they've got a good window in the offing. Like, let's not forget, you've got Zubimendi coming in to replace Partey. They're looking at the striker situation as well. Like, I think if they get a striker, they're a good outfit. They're a very, very good outfit. But I still think they're going to be behind the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City. And I think City selling on the likes of Grealish, City moving on Kevin De Bruyne off. It is a changing of the guard at City, and I think we're about to see one of their massive summers again, where they do change everything up. A changing of the guard as such at Manchester City, and reinvest into a completely different team. But I think if anyone right now should be scared this window, and even with the players that they're looking at, and it weirdly is Arsenal, because they're expected to challenge and win for the Premier League next season. And at the moment, I just see Liverpool and Manchester City just running away with it again. I think that the other teams are getting business done quickly. Like Chelsea, for instance, I think they're going to get business done quickly. They could be challenging Arsenal next season. And it's a shame. As an Arsenal fan, you're probably looking at it and going, look, we're in a good place. We're actually competing. We're doing well. But everyone else around them is getting even better. I stand by the fact that I thought Arsenal missed their opportunity this season, because I don't think the Premier League was great. This was their chance to win it. And I think now, no matter what they do in this window, yes, they will be challenging. They will be up there. But I think the other teams, Liverpool, Manchester City, I think Chelsea will come strong again. I just think that they are just going to be stuck where they are, Arsenal, as the nearly club, unfortunately for them. Let's get into some of the comments. Let's see what everybody is saying. Loads of people piling in. Get your comments in, everybody. Please give the video a like as well. Sunday morning, 1st of June, transfer window open. And yeah, it's going crazy. I can see like different stories popping up just now all of the time. I think it's going to be one of them now. Everybody glued to the screens and glued to the phones. Let's see what we've got in the comment section here. PSG was so dynamic last night. The diagonal balls to the flanks killed Inter. The back three wasn't able to shift over fast enough to get out to them. No, in terms of that game last night, the speed of the PSG attack was absolutely frightening, wasn't it? It was like a trigger. As soon as they picked up the ball at the back and seen the opportunity, there was always somebody out wide and there was always somebody to attack it. Kvaratskhelia was always available on the wing. He was absolutely ridiculous. To think that Manchester United were actually bidding for him in January as well. There was a talk of him actually going to Manchester United. Just seems a million miles away now, doesn't it? It's just like, oh yeah, pipe dream, absolute pipe dream. Cherki was never a United target. Amorim said no long ago. Yeah, he was a target for Manchester United. I know. It was reported Manchester United did approach Lyon for the information on making a move and what was necessary. But Cherki wanted Champions League football. Simple as that. We don't know who Amorim wants. We are just guessing at the moment. Well, we know what he needs and we know the players and characteristics he wants. And we know that he wants Cunha. We know that he wants Bryan Mbeumo. This is, I think, players that Manchester United would improve massively with. He wants Premier League proven players. That's it, really. And we know who they are in the positions that we need. FSG have been very smart with how they have invested, identified targets, stuck to a budget and moved to the next target if held to ransom. They're about to break a British transfer record on Florian Wirtz. So that is commitment behind Arne Slot as well, isn't it? Lenior for me was the proper marquee youth signing. We need to do more. We could have done more, I think, this summer as well, but we needed something else to back us up, I think, from the Manchester United side of things. Adam, the difference is that PSG has owners that wants to win all cost. Scouting data and Luis Campos. United have Wilcox eyes and owners that wants to win PSR and bank balances. Disagree, mate. Like you're judging Manchester United's structure off one summer and not giving them chance. How long have the Qatari ownership been at PSG trying to get to this point right now? You cannot compare. You cannot compare, I'm afraid. And yes, they do want to win everything and plough the money in, but let's be honest. Look at the spend in Europe over the last 10 years and look where Manchester United are. Look where we are in terms of the spend. We're right up there with some of the biggest teams in Europe. So we cannot say that Manchester United have not invested money. The club has been run poorly because we've had idiots running the football club, wasting the money that the fans have pumped into it. And that's the problem we've got. It's not, I don't think we can compare the current ownership to the likes of Qatar because it needs time to run. And we'll see. In a few years' time, we'll start to see what actually happens. Yes, I agree. A great fun, isn't it? Haven't made the right call once yet, says Andy. Let's see what else we've got in here. Since Inzaghi arrived at Inter in 2020-21, they have spent 258 million euros. That there is shrewd, but he hasn't won the Champions League, you could say. And I don't think the Italian clubs are necessarily the biggest spenders with their budgets. So that sort of fits in. Man United realist says Vitinha, man of the match. How good was he? Like literally from the days of playing around at Wolves to lifting a Champions League trophy and playing in one of the best sides in Europe, which PSG are. That is some turnaround, isn't it? It really is. Yesterday, Champions League final was the most boring, most one-sided, most goals scored, worst finals in decades. Sorry, mate, but PSG turned up and Inter Milan didn't. You can't blame PSG for that. It just shows you that they were better prepared. Enrique had his players absolutely drilled. And you can see with Enrique and that PSG side exactly what he wants from them. He knows exactly what he needs from each player. The investment in that squad for players that Enrique can work with. It's why they got rid of Manuel Ugarte last summer and sold him to Manchester United and brought in João Neves. He's the player that can work and do what Enrique wants. Again, there, another player, under 21 player in João Neves that was brought in, making that point again. Get rid of the big marquee name signings and bring in the young players that work in a system that the manager wants to play them in. And that, I think, is where Man United are at with Ruben right now. If you give him the players that he can actually use in his system, we may see the turnaround, not to the extent of what PSG is, but I think the point proven here is that the PSG ownership got behind Enrique and got him players that worked best for him and how he wanted to play football. And that's what other clubs need to do. Pep does it. Obviously, now that Liverpool are going to do it with Arne Slot, proves there. Arsenal are doing it with Arteta. There are lots of clubs across Europe that are backing their managers. Make sure that you give the video a like, please, everybody. Hit that subscribe button as well. I bring in you daily updates with all of the transfer news around the Premier League here on Football Talks. My other channel on the side of Forever United TV. If you have just joined us, thank you. Make sure you do hit the subscribe button and bell notifications so you know when the next video is coming. There probably will be another one later on today as well, updating you on all of the transfer news going around the Premier League. Roz has been in with a super chat and says, do you think this is the window Casemiro goes to Saudi? Ineos have to be itching to clear his weekly wages. He struggled versus UK competition all year. If the right bid comes in for Casemiro will leave Manchester United. I do believe that is there, and that is in the thinking of the football club right now. I think we are going to be hoping more than anything, though, that somebody comes in, because who wants to spend that amount of money? That's the question right now. Who is there to actually go all in on someone like Casemiro? That's what you've got to ask. But there is a chance. Besiktas, apparently, we're all in on Casemiro, according to the reports yesterday. Ray with another super chat. Thank you, Ray. And Enrique is a world-class coach. His second treble and Champions League. Yep, I said it at the top of the show, Ray. You're dead right, mate. That is the second time he's won a treble, and he's done it in 2 different countries as well. Only the second manager to do so. Pep Guardiola being the first with Barcelona and City. Now Enrique following suit with PSG and with Barcelona also. Our targets are being targeted by other teams. Edison to Liverpool, yep. Mastantuono, PSG. Look, we cannot expect Manchester United to be the only team in for certain players. We cannot expect it to be an easy ride. The Premier League is a tough league. It really is. More updates just coming in now. I'm just going to read a couple of these out. This is what I thought might happen today. The Mirror reporting Chelsea, Napoli, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan and Bayer Leverkusen are all interested in signing Garnacho this summer. Garnacho is valued at 60 to 70 million and many clubs are ready to sign him as the window is open from June 1st to 10th due to the Club World Cup. Club World Cup teams looking at Manchester United players. Club World Cup teams looking at everyone available in the market right now. Obviously, Crystal Palace's players are going to be hot property as well after their season, and Crystal Palace would like Eberechi Eze to sign a new contract with them, despite interest from fellow Premier League clubs Arsenal, Tottenham and Manchester City. Manchester United also interested in Eze, but they are trying now to get players signed up to new deals, Crystal Palace, before the onslaught. There will be a big clamour for Crystal Palace players. Mateta, 1 year left on his contract. He's a target for Manchester United and other Premier League clubs. So that is something that they're trying to wrap up as well. Eze is I think he'll be a target for every single decent club in Europe. There's been a bit of a mention on Bayern Munich coming in for Eberechi Eze. I think there has been a movement from a few other European clubs as well for Eze. I think Premier Leagues will definitely, Premier League clubs I'll be all over Eze. I mean, what is he worth though? He's 50 to 60 million, maybe more. 70 million for Eze. his performances this season have been outstanding. Obviously, making it into the international scene as well always raises the price as well. But yeah, I feel like there is big movement coming, but I think there is probably some big movement in and some surprises in players actually signing new deals for clubs as well. Because Crystal Palace being in the Europa League, who wants to leave there right now? Like with everything that's going on at that club, it is the place to be, isn't it? So yeah, on that one, I think watch this space. I think it's going to have to be massive bids to Crystal Palace to move any of their players on anyway. Bruno Fernandes moving the goalposts as well, constantly. Bruno right now, just to update you on him, I've made the big point about PSG and selling off their bigger players. Should this be something that Manchester United do? It's a different scenario, obviously, with United and PSG when you're looking at Bruno compared to likes of Messi and Neymar and Mbappe leaving PSG and them getting better. Could United get better if Bruno went? Now, I actually do believe that we're in the realms now of Bruno being surprised that all of his demands have been met by Al Hilal. He keeps coming back, and it just seems to be changing all of the time at the moment. It seems to be changing. Like Bruno has got this deadline. His agent has gone to Al Hilal, and Al Hilal have met all of the demands again. All of the new demands have been met, and it's constant meetings, and nothing's really changing. The only thing that can change right now is Bruno Fernandes making a bleeding decision, and this week it has to happen. United are back in town. His agent's back from Saudi. Everything can get discussed, and I think this needs to be wrapped up very, very quickly because the Club World Cup teams have got from now until the 10th of June to sell players and register them. And I think this is now the key time for them to actually start making these deals happen. And so we need a Bruno decision this week. One way or the other, it's going to happen. But then, like somebody just said then, if Bruno doesn't leave, then that means that Ederson will probably end up moving to another club and not coming to United. And that domino effect and ripple effect of certain deals happening or not happening start to get in the way of other people's business and other clubs' business as well. I think that's where we're at. I will have that all covered as the day and the week continues. So yes, that will do for now. I'll wrap things up there for the little morning paper round show. Just a bit of an opener into what is going to be a pretty mental next few weeks anyway, with the window being open. But thank you everybody who contributed to the show. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you everybody who got involved in the live chat as well. Drop your comments in below on all of them deals. Go back and watch all of the updates from the week on Football Talks as well to catch up on everything. I will see you all later on with the updates. I'll be back on Forever United TV. I'll be back on Football Talks as well. Have a great Sunday, everybody, and stay tuned because I think it's all about to kick off in the transfer window. Thank you, everybody. Give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and